Hello, welcome to today's class. In today's class, we'll be talking about dental fricatives. Can everybody say dental fricatives? This is a very important lesson because it centers around the clarity around TH. How do you pronounce TH? In English, it's known as dental fricative. Can we say together dental fricatives? Can we say one more time dental fricatives? Okay, now these are the two sounds in English called dental fricative. This is the first one. It's called theta. This sound is called theta, while this one is called earth. So just look at it different. Theta and earth. Okay, now the sounds, this one is pronounced this way. You allow your tongue to come out. Now it's known as a voiceless sound. When we say in English that the sound is voiceless, it means that there's a little voice. It doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't have a voice at all, but just that it has little voice. And so when you take a look at this particular sound, here is voiceless. So the pronunciation is like, this is like a tongue coming out of your mouth. And so the sound is, can we say that together? Okay. Now, while this one is voice, that means you're going to feel an impact in this place. This place is called your vocal cord. And the sound is like this. You hold on to your tongue a little. The tip of your tongue is pressed down a little. And so the sound is, you feel a little impact here, like a little vibration. So the first one is, the second one is, and so are called dental fricatives because they are produced by you're placing the tongue against the upper front teeth and allowing air to pass through, creating friction. Remember, the common denominator here is that you create a little bit of friction. That is the definition of consonant in English. When we talk about a consonant sound, we're talking about sound that have a little bit of obstruction. In other words, have a little bit of friction. Friction means a little bit of disturbance. The sound doesn't flow out easily. That's why it's called a friction sound. So whenever time you're going to pronounce these two sounds, you experience a kind of friction. So the first one is, you see the tongue is blocking it. And this one is like a D. That's why there's no much difference between breathing and braiding. Braiding as in B-R-E-A-T-H-I-N-G and B-R-E-E-D-I-N-G. Breathing, like we're breathing an animal. Braiding and braiding. Because the letter D there sounds exactly like this one. Okay, now let's start with the voiceless one, which is this one, which is pronounced as. Now, this particular sound is produced without vibration. There is no form of vibration when you're producing the sound in your vocal cord. So when you're pronouncing words like thin, you don't feel any impact here. Thin, thick, bath, and method. You're not going to feel any impact there. That's the nature of the pronunciation. No impact in your vocal cord. Whereas this one is voice. That means you feel a little bit of impact in your vocal cord. And so the sound is pronounced for this second one. Produced with vibration. Place your hands here. You feel a little bit of impact there. So you're having words like this, that, mother, breathe. You see? Okay. To feel the difference between the two sounds, place your finger here on your throat. When saying this as in thing, you will feel no vibration. You won't feel any vibration. But when saying the second one, you will feel a little bit of vibration, like in the word this. All right, you feel the vibration. Now, where we're going with this lesson is first and foremost to lay a foundation on the pronunciation of TH in different word position. Now, you realize that TH can be in different places. It can be at the beginning of the word, like the word this, in the middle of the word, like the word method or father, and the ending of the word, like breathe, like smooth. All right. So how do you know the difference in terms of this is TH giving us producing two basic sounds. When does it take the voiceless, or when does it take whenever they are found, whether it's at the beginning of a word, the middle of a word, or at the end of a word? Now we need to gain clarity about this. Now, the pronunciation of TH depends on whether it appears at the beginning, middle, or end of a word. Now listen, th at the beginning of words, th at the beginning of words, pronounced as for most content word. Now in English, when we talk about content word are words that can stand on their own. In other words, they can represent a meaning without the help of any another word. That's what we call content word. They have contented. In other words, they can stand alone and produce a form of meaning, even though they may not give us a full meaning, but at least a form of meaning when they stand alone as an independent word. That's why we call them content word. They are called independent word. In other words, for content words are independent words, like the word. Take a look at the word. And so what are the example of part of speech that belong to those content words? Content words are found around nouns, adjectives, verbs, and adverbs. So when you talk about content word in English, it revolves around noun, adjective, verbs, and adverbs. Now, please don't mix it up. I'm talking about th at the beginning of a word. So whenever you have th at the beginning of a word, that is a noun, there's an adjectives, that is a verbs, or probably an adverbs. If it's starting with th, if this part of speech is starting with th, they are referred to or labeled as content word. And so what happens is that they will sound because they are content word. Remember what I call content word? Independent word, where they can stand alone and produce a form of meaning. So you have words like, give me content word. You're talking about content words like, example of content word like throw. If I say throw, you can imagine what I'm talking about. Throw, or think, thoughts, thousand. All right, those are content words. Three, remember, they're all starting with th. Three. So those are content word because they represent a form of meaning. So when you have content word at the beginning of a word, content word with th at the beginning will sound. On the other hand, if they are not content word, definitely will belong to function word. What do you call function words? Function words are helping words. They help content word. They can't stand alone. They need help. If I just say that that is a function word, and that will now sound the voice one, which is so content word take the sound, the voiceless sound, while function words take their voice sound. Let me say it again for purpose of clarity. What I'm saying is that content word with th at the beginning will sound, while function word with th beginning with sound. Remember that content word with sound, function word with sound, content word with sound, content word with sound, function word with sound, content word with sound, content word with sound, and function word with sound. Content word with sound, like throw, like three, like thought, like thinker, like thousand. Okay, while function words like this, like that, like thereafter, like this, day, thereafter, therefore, those are function words and they absorb the sound, the second sound, which is this one, okay? While the content word with sound. So this is just the part one of the lesson. I hope you catch my drift. Remember, th is a dental sound and they have two basic sounds. What are the two basic sounds again? And is that okay? Cheers, everybody.